Now, what looked like a controversy ensued in the media space last week. This is connected to the Samoa agreement, which the federal government signed, which actually is an international treaty that the federal government of Nigeria just signed. Some persons at the public are taking public opinion on the issue that that agreement have the trappings of the LGBTQ, and as such, Nigerian government ought not to have signed it. That it is wrong for the Nigerian government to sign such agreement or degrade or undermine the moral rectitude of the country just in exchange for loan, and that it is uncalled for that a country like Nigeria that have laws against the LGBTQ practice ought not to have been found around such agreement. Now, in response to that, the federal government came out and made explicit analysis and defense to the public outcry by stating that the agreement does not in any way contravene any law in the country, and that there was a proper review on the agreement with the federal government as it relates to the 1999 Constitution, and as such, the agreement does not contravene any part of the 1999 Constitution or any other law thereof in the country. But when you look closely at Article 9, 10, and 15 of that law, you'll find certain trappings of that idea. Talk about reproductive rights, talk about gender equality, and all that. You see, these are trappings of the practice as people have raised concern. And this public outcry is based on the fact that when you look deep into this expression, sexual orientation, sexual and reproductive rights, and the likes of gender equality, that in the West, these expressions have deeper meaning than they appear. So it is important that the federal government come clean on this to really show and prove whether the deep interpretation of those expressions, whether in any way they are of the LGBTQ arrangement. Now, it is important that the federal government must, make that agreement public so that people will find a way around it. Nigerians have a right under the law to apply for that document based on the Freedom of Information Act. And when that document is procured, the most important thing that should be looked into is the interpretation section of that document. The interpretation section of that document will truly state what every expression means as it relates to that agreement. It is not enough to say it does not contain any issues that relates to LGBTQ, but that it is free from all those expressions. It is not enough. The agreement need to be studied, and the interpretation section need to be put across, and every part of it in terms of interpretation must be looked into before we can definitely say that that agreement is free from all those trappings. I would therefore advocate that the Nigerian public must put an eye on this to ensure that the affairs are laid by making sure that these demands must be entrenched and that the public must know exactly what that law is about. We are coming from a lot already. We are dealing with a lot as a country, from insurgency to insecurity to kidnapping to banditry to all forms of insecurity. The least we need now is to get into moral security. And that is a very, very serious issue for the country. I am of the view that not only should we apply for the document, but we must also look at the terms and conditions of that agreement. Every agreement all over the world comes with terms and conditions. And if these terms and conditions are onerous, or they are ones that have extraneous materials that are that contradicts the laws of this country, then such law should not fly. If you look at Section 12 of the 1999 Constitution, it is clear that you cannot domesticate any law, you cannot act on any agreement or law or treaty or charter that have not been domesticated into the country by virtue of Section 12. So I believe that what the federal government have done so far is inchoate. It's inchoate in the sense that if there is proper investigation and we find that something is untoward, the public and the Nigerian state have a right to assemble and make a demand that that document be unsigned. Until then, let's watch this. I shall go to Rabbi again.